All right, so
Ever.
I think it's time. Hey, Tyler, can you do me a favor? Can you play some sad music? Just like a sad, like like sad, like at a funeral. That's not at a funeral. Let me tell you a story.
Dead. Somebody's fucking dead.
That's
oh.
Snyderverse.
Oh.
It's dead.
Good,
Okay.
kind of.
Well, we already talked about how
Hey, listen, Rebel Moon is all the rage, so why the fuck
that's
are we
what we're
living in the past, Snyder knots?
That's what
We're calling them
that's what we're
Snyder knots,
That's what we're talking about.
which is way too cool of a name for
Yeah,
those fucking
Take
idiots.
it back. I don't. If your name is Snyder, you can have it.
Snyder fucks.
Not that one. You can have Snyder nods, but Snyder.
Snyder dicks.
Okay. So, in a recent interview with the Hollywood Reporter, Zack Snyder, he's doing press for Rebel Moon.
Oh, thank God.
Well,
Do we have to watch that?
I kind of want to because I kind of like to watch every Zack Snyder movie because I at least respect that the man commits to something.
It's not his fault that his fans are such fucking fuckholes, but he did encourage some of that shit.
Yeah.
And that's what really soured me on him.
They did like a big profile on him promoting the movie for the Hollywood Reporter. So it kind of spans his whole career. It's actually a pretty good article, but yeah, it kind of goes through his whole career and how he's kind of always been like different. And well, I don't want to call him an auteur.
Yeah, he's not.
Because, well, first of all, I think that term is stupid. No, that's not true. I don't think the term is stupid. It's a word. But I mean, like, I hate that idea of, like... Because sometimes some directors use that title and let it get to their heads and treat people like shit, i.e. Stanley Kubrick. Also, I will say this about Zach. No, everybody that's worked with him has said he's great. Like, they never complain about him.
I mean, Kubrick has made some excellent movies, but by all accounts, he was a fucking dick.
The shit I saw how he treated...
Shelley Duvall?
Yeah, the way he treated her during that movie, I was like, fuck this guy. But anyway...
In that context, obviously we know why the performance is so good in that movie by her, because she is legitimately terrified in real life.
She's terrorized by that dude.
Right. She was losing chunks of hair and shit.
Yeah, she was stressed.
I mean,
but
yes.
anyway, that's a different story. So here's a quote.
So good for Zach for not being a dick like Cooper.
Yeah. So Snyder was asked about James Gunn's DCU. And also there's this fake narrative that had been going around by the Snyder fucks that
Snyder dicks.
they were kind of spinning this narrative that Snyder and Gunn were like beefing because James Gunn was taking over DC and all this shit. Here's proof that it isn't, because another thing too, this is how they're friends, because whenever James Gunn was given the opportunity to talk down about the DCEU or Snyder, he always took the high road and he said he's my friend. He never said anything bad about those movies, never said anything. So Snyder said, quote, I called him and said I wish all the best for him. I told him I wanted it to work. And I think that's important that he says that, because I hate to tell you this, guys, but Zack Snyder has moved on, and you should too.
Yes.
It's over, man. They threw you the fucking bone with the Snyder cut, and that was it.
What I was going to say is that by the time James Gunn had took over, Snyder was long
He wanted nothing to do with Warner Brothers.
Gone.
He was done with them.
I'm happy for Zack Snyder, and here's the other thing too. Again, it's not his fault that these fucking douchebags, and yes, he did encourage, but I think on accident. I don't think he meant to. I think he meant to do something else, and it was taken a certain way, and it was perceived that he was kind of encouraging it. Here's the thing. By all accounts, he's a good dude. He makes entertaining movies. Whatever you want to say about Watchmen, it's a fairly faithful adaptation.
In this same article, it mentions that Christopher Nolan said that Watchmen was ahead of its time. And I think, it is true. Because we were living in... That's what Nolan said in his quote. He said, it would be interesting to see someone do something like this now in a post-Avengers world. Because it really was a weird deconstruction of the genre.
Before it was a genre.
Which is why that story has always been so great. And just think that happening. Like, I remember seeing trailers for that when I was screening for The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing the trailer, being interested, but I never read it, never known anything about it.
I knew all about it, yeah. So I was super hyped about it.
But there is a funny theme that keeps running throughout that article. Is like every time he wanted to make a movie, he always wants an R-rated movie. Like he always wants to be R-rated.
I've never seen Sucker Punch, which somebody told me is bad.
I don't like Sucker Punch. It's not a good movie. It's all flash.
That's what I've heard, is that it's all, like, there's no real substance
And I
to it.
said it ad nauseum on this show. The motherfucker knows how to shoot action. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he doesn't make amazing action set pieces. There's, like, Justice League had some fucking insane... Like, was it too long? Sure. But that...
The Snyder Cut was great.
The Steppenwolf fight in Themyscira in the Snyder Cut is fucking awesome.
Dude, the Snyder Cut is really, really good. It actually makes like a nice capper to the DC extended, whatever you want to call it. And
that
whatever,
should have been the end.
right, but whatever you want to say about Snyder, he had a vision for the DC whatever, and he wanted it to work. He didn't want it to fail. Do you think he really wanted to lose a member of his family during all of that? You know what I mean? Like, the fact that he tried, I remember seeing the first trailer for Man of Steel and being like super
With
fucking
that Hans Zimmer score.
stoked.
Woo.
Dude, that part where he like
Yeah, the flight song.
No, I loved when he put his foot,
And
like they kind of explained that, like,
how he pushes off.
I guess. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That very first trailer and all the dirt starts.
Yeah.
I was excited because it was like, this is a cool take on Superman, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry for all of you that think that there's some conspiracy against Zack Snyder, but there isn't. He's had some tragedy in his life, but he still makes really entertaining movies, and I hope he keeps doing it. Whether I'm going to watch him or not, we'll see. But
yeah, I'm interested in.
I wish him the best.
I'm interested in Rebel Moon and what he can do.
If I
with
had
that.
Netflix, I would. But somebody forgot to tell me how to use their Netflix while they were gone.
You press the button.
When I came over to watch your dog.
You hit the button. And
Sure.
you
I
turn-
didn't get to watch The Killer.
Turn it on. And it
There goes my long box.
Thanks to the movie. Also regarding the future, just in case the Snyder fucks didn't hear him loud and clear. This is directly from the Hollywood Reporter article. Snyder says that that chapter of his life is now closed, and it would be difficult to coax him to reopen it. If his buddy Gunn called him and invited him back to DC, he might consider doing a Dark Knight Returns adaptation, but only a true representation of the graphic novel. If Marvel rang, he might think a beat about a Daredevil and Elektra movie. Maybe
That would be interesting.
adapting Frank Miller's Elektra Lives Again, but that's it. And then they asked about Star Wars again, because this came from a failed Star Wars pitch before Disney got it, and he said, no, I don't think so. Those guys have a handle on the brand. So he's done. Move on. It's over.
Find something else to hitch your wagon to.
And I don't see
Or
how
your sociopathy.
like I understand being a fan of a director and I understand being a fan of a style, but like this is just insane. And the fact that it
I've
is
never
still
been like
going
this.
on.
I wouldn't even be like this about you. And you're like my best friend. Does that make sense?
No, I don't think that.
So why would I do it about somebody I don't know, no matter how much of a fan I am of them?
I don't think how they don't understand how cultish they really sound.
I have a friend, and I won't say his name, and he's a fan of a band that I grew up with, and I have two friends. One is one is a fan of a very big jam band. Most of the members are dead now, but they're still touring. And I don't understand it. I'm talking about the guy who buys like all the bootlegs and shit and like follows them on tour. My other friend is a fan of a grunge band that's still around and is the same way with that band. And I had a friend when I was growing up, when A Perfect Circle came out, who was like that about Tool and Maynard, because he was in both bands, Maynard James Keenan. And I don't understand that. I've been fans of a band. I would love people to be fans of my music that way, of course.
Huh.
Right?
Always got to plug your music.
I'm serious. I'm saying, like, would I like people to be that fanatic about my music? But I have never been fanatic about maybe the Minnesota Vikings. I think is the most fanatic I've gotten about anything. Not even America. I mean, this niche country, man? No, man.
Nah, man. Nah.
So, real quick aside, I was at work the other day, and they have pods for your K-Rig, and the brand is McCafe. McDonald's coffee. McDonald's fucking coffee. And I wanted to take a picture of it and post it on Twitter and say, congratulations. You're so consumed by capitalism that you crave a niche coffee from a niche restaurant in a niche country in a niche part of Earth history. Because, like it or not, we're in a niche part of Earth history. What? Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.